It's the National Football League on
Here's the former Utah Ute, Matt Gay, to get this one started. And off we go from MetLife Stadium. And out a little across the 25 to the 27. So now here comes the Jet offense as they get ready to take over. Under center is a 6'2", 225-pound signal caller, Aaron Rodgers.
There have been very few quarterbacks in the NFL who have been as consistent throughout their career as Aaron Rodgers. He's been good for so long, and we've seen no decline in his skills. His accuracy and arm strength continue to elevate the talent around him, and his in-game mistakes, few and far between.
First play and a first throw for Rodgers. That one taken in by Corley. This will be stopped about 2 yards shy of the marker. 8-yard gain, 2nd and 2.
And their coach told us the other day that they wanted to get him in a nice groove right out of the gate. And one way to do that, give him quick throws where he can get the ball out of his hand in a hurry, as he did there.
From the 35, here's 2nd down and 2. To throw is Rodgers. He gets this to Davante Adams. And he slips up past the 45 before being tackled. And a stoppage here. We're going to need to take a moment as a Jet was shaken up on that one. We'll get an update when we return to MetLife Stadium. Back-to-back good plays have them on the move on first down. Now it's Rodgers. That to the sideline, and it's intercepted. And the Colts are going to take possession of the football as they force the turnover on the opening drive. That right there is the inauspicious start that they were hoping to avoid, the turnover on the first possession.
I love how you use those college-bound words like that, inauspicious. Well done. I really appreciate that.
Thank you.
But here's the thing for me. I'm just wondering if their game plan is incorrect. You know, I think they felt like they could come in and throw it around pretty well. That interception early, they may rethink how they go about attacking.
So the Colts now coming out for their opening drive. And a glance here at the man calling the plays under center, their 6'4" quarterback.
We're seeing it more and more in this league, how teams love to have athletes back there taking the snaps, guys who can throw it and move around and get yardage with their legs if needed. He's one of the best examples that we see out there right now. He can throw for hundreds of yards one week and then run for 100+ the next. He adds an extra dimension that really confounds defenses when he puts it all together.
He's across midfield and all the way down to the 41-yard line. 11 yards for number 11.
That was a nicely run slant route, and what the receiver's trying to do is make the defender think he's going upfield for a deeper route and then breaks it off, usually after about 3 to 4 steps, and cuts towards the middle of the field. And now what he's trying to do is use his body to keep the defender away from the football and give the quarterback a really nice target.
Over the middle, hauled in by Pierce. And that's good for a gain of 6, and that's going to bring up 2nd down. Richardson out of the shotgun. Delivers another one to Pierce. And that's going to be another first down as the tackle made at the Jets' 25-yard line. It's a 10-yard pickup, and that's enough to move the chains.
And that's a more than acceptable read right there because it's zone coverage, so timing is everything. This time he waits for his man to come open, puts it right on him, and they pick up a first down.
They'll run. This is Jonathan Taylor. They get him to the ground right on the cusp of the red zone after a pickup of 5 or 6.
A quick burst there, and he nicely bit off a pretty decent gain.
from the 20. Here's 2nd and 5. Back to throw. Here's Richardson. And this throw incomplete. Now the defender all over him that time, but it's going to lead to 3rd down.
Well, that play there was certainly a scouting report special because coverage was all too aware that this close to the end zone, he's going to become a bigger weapon for that offense, and they were there to help force the incompletion.
They come up now 3rd and 5 following the incomplete pass. And he takes it down to the 13 and picks up the first. And now a stoppage, and it looks like we have a Colt who was shaken up on that last play. We'll get an update when we return to MetLife Stadium. From the 13 now, they work on 1st and 10. Richardson looking to throw this. Out of his hands quickly to Pittman. And they'll get him down after a pickup of 8. 2nd and 2. Really been an ideal start for them. They get the turnover on the opening possession. Now here they are moving the ball straight down the field on their first drive.
And that feels good, but you know on their side of the field, all they're thinking is, finish this drive off because they took it away, right? So now you've got them back on their heels a little bit. Now go down, put a touchdown on them.
Got a man, it's Pittman, and he holds it in for the Colts touchdown. A 5-yard touchdown catch. And the Colts use the early turnover to get on the board first here in this one. Personally, for him, a great opening drive. He had 3 catches, including the touchdown.
That felt like tremendous scouting, great film watching, and creating a game plan to start this off, not only to get him involved, but to send a message to the defense. You can have a lot to handle in this one.
Extra point by Gay is up and good. And it's now a 7-0 game. So that drive in total 8 plays. And it was capped off on the touchdown catch by Michael Pittman. After the touchdown, it's Gay to kick this one away. And he's up across the 25 and down at the 28. Back onto the field come the New York Jets for their 2nd drive. They threw an interception the first time they had the football, wound up leading to a touchdown the other way. How do you approach drive number 2?
Going back to your game plan coming in, everyone has matchups that they like better than others, where they think they have an advantage. Dial up some of those plays. Try and go to those spots and get your offense moving.
They'll start on the ground. Hall. And give him 6 yards here as he stopped near the 35 at the 34.
They'd love to just strike back with a touchdown right here, and if it's a long play, so be it. But the main goal, get a couple of first downs, run some plays, run some clock, allow their defense to get a chance to catch their breath, settle down, and relax a little bit after they just gave up a score.
After one, 7-0 on EA Sports. Second quarter now from MetLife Stadium. The Jets with the football here. And from the 34, here's 2nd and 4. As they've got it as we resume action. Hall again on 2nd down. And this defense able to plug him up there as he'll get a yard to the 35. Well done to sniff that out defensively. He had it diagnosed pretty quickly.
I love that description because diagnosed is perfect on that one. Read his keys, made the play, and he couldn't even get going moving the football.
They'll run with Hall. And he slips up past the 45 before being tackled. It'll go as a gain of 11 and a Jets first down. Obviously an important run to avoid the 3 and out on your own side of the field.
Shows a lot of faith in that offensive unit, doesn't it? That you want to run the ball in that situation, pick up the first down. Also helps out your defensive guys a little bit too. Allows them to get at least one more series of downs in order to get some rest.
And a solid run here as he'll pick his way down to the 42-yard line. 11 yards there, just like last play. Well, CD, a lot of times like to separate speed and quickness, and they've got a back that's both. We know that he's fast in the open field, but, man, his first step is so quick, too.
It is something, isn't it? Because you think of that type of speed getting to the perimeter and turning upfield, but also when you run those inside runs, he can get into the secondary so fast the linebackers don't have a chance to react.
And he's tackled a yard short of the marker. Good gain of 9 on first down. From the 33, here's second down and a yard. Out of the gun, they run it with Hall. Shrugs him off. And inside the 20 before he's brought down. 44 yards rushing for him now, and he's carried the ball just 5 times.
We use the word relentless a lot with guys who are aggressive on the field. In this case, it really fits, doesn't it? How about his ability to break tackles and his feet never stop moving?
2 minutes on the clock, second quarter, 7-0 ball game. So here's a 1st and 10 now, down inside the 20. Now Rodgers. Over the middle and complete to Wilson. It'll go down as a gain of 6, and that will bring up second down.
Nothing fancy on first down, but a very consistent type of a play. Hit that slant. A lot of people call it an extension of the running game, and it can be if that pass is completed, because you hit a guy on the run like that, he often can go for big yardage.
Sets him up nicely for second down, staying ahead of schedule. And he's got it. Touchdown. Aaron Rodgers hitting Allen Lazard, and the Jets are within an extra point of tying up this ball game. Good bounce-back drive right there through the pick on drive number 1. Drive number 2 leads them right down the field into the end zone.
Agree totally. Excellent bounce back, tremendous poise, confidence never lost, and obviously he transmitted that to his teammates as well. What a really nice drive.
Now Greg Zuerlein on for the extra point. It's up and good, and we're tied at 7 here in quarter number 2. So that drive goes 8 plays. So all even at 7 now as they kick it away. And he takes this near the 25. Just a little pass there. Call it the 26. Second drive coming up here for the Indianapolis Colts. It was still more than a minute to go in the half. Time to try to mount a drive.
And I would think that they would have to. This is today's NFL. You got to push it whenever you get an opportunity. You could never have enough points with the high-powered offenses that you face. And analytics will tell you, try and score when given the opportunity.
Now Richardson. That's caught. It's Josh Downs. The Colts going to use the first of their timeouts. So as they talk it over, we step aside. Line of scrimmage, the 37 on 1st and 10. Now it's Richardson. finds his big tight end, Mo Alley Cox. And he'll be out of bounds, but able to get it up past the 45. A gain of 11 that time and a Colts first down.
I do have to admit, I like it when it all comes together. When the top part, catching the football, right, whether you're catching it with your hands or cradling it, comes together with the legs, in this case the feet, doing a little toe tap to stay in bounds and complete the catch.
And a great job by our crew on the camera shot. Love when you see the grass or on the field turf, those rubber pellets flying up. Great catch. Second down and a yard. Back to the air with Richardson. He'll drop this down to Taylor. And he'll go down shy of the 40 at the 41. They'll get 3 as the drive continues. It's a first down.
Well, they've certainly done a nice job spreading the ball around on this drive. This time he gets it out to his back, and it's another nice play and another first down. They've got the defense on their heels a little bit. They're reacting instead of being aggressive and making plays.
That's going to be taken in by Downs. And they move this all the way down to the 9. Now the Colts will use their third and final timeout as the stoppage will come with 23 seconds to go till halftime. The chain gang hustling to catch up. Here's first and goal from just inside the 10. Richardson. Looking for Pearson. He's got him. Touchdown, Indianapolis. Alec Pierce as the first half is winding down. And the Colts have taken the lead here in the final stages of this first half. So that really an almost perfect drive as they chew up some clock and wind up scoring late in this first half.
And remember, they've got a chance to double dip here because they're going to get the ball first to start the third quarter. So they potentially could go up 2 scores before the other guys get a chance to do anything.
Gay is on for the point after. And he's got it. It's now a 14-7 ball game. So the drive there took 6 plays. And it was capped off by a touchdown catch from Alec Pierce. So not much time to speak of remaining in this first half as the kick's away. And not wanting to risk anything here late in the half, he'll just take a knee and they'll bring the football out to the 25. The Jets going to go on offense one last time in this first half. And with time quickly fading here in the second quarter, not sure how aggressively, offensively they want to play this.
I think we'll find out just how much they trust their guys in this situation if they decide to take a shot.
19 seconds showing to play in the half as they come up here first and 10. They'll indeed start on the ground to run that clock. And an anxious moment or two there, but they do get him down. The Jets are going to use the first of their timeouts as they'll stop it with 14 seconds to go in this first half. Throwing now is Rodgers. Pass complete. He's got Lazard on the out route. And he'll be out of bounds just shy of the 40. A Jet first down, 18 big yards that time.
And that play came together really well for them as he found open space, makes the catch, and gets down to the 1-yard line. You know he's kicking himself right now. He thought he had a chance to get a touchdown and put that in his ledger. Instead, his team gets a chance to cash in over these next few plays.
And that's complete to Adams. And the result here, a pickup of 8. Leaves him with 2 to go on second down. Now whistles and a timeout with 3 seconds left in the first half. So 3 seconds here remain in the half. On is the field goal unit to see about getting 3 points. From the right hash and call it an even 50 yards. Zerline's kick is up and through, and that will do it for this first half. So we've reached halftime here in a 4-point game. As we'll get you down the coast to Orlando for Jonathan Coachman at our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach.
We were certainly treated to an entertaining first half. Both these teams with some high points and maybe a couple of low points as well. So it's going to be a question of who can be the most disciplined team going forward.
All right, Coach, thanks. Yeah, both teams likely to make some changes in what's been a closely fought battle to this point. Second half ready to get underway. The Colts with a lead, and they will receive the football. Oh, a good return up past the 30. And good starting field position. He'll get this one all the way up to about the 35-yard line. The Colts going to take over on offense to begin this third quarter. And Charles, they've got the lead. Put your coaching hat on here now. What's the game plan for the second half?
I think getting the running game going a little bit more, because I thought in the first half they didn't get it moving the way that they would like. They had success throwing it, but I think these first couple of drives, they'll want to get those running backs going and give them more opportunities, and I will guarantee you that those guys were lobbying for them.
Got a man, it's caught at the 6-yard line. And he takes this one in for a Colts touchdown. Jonathan Taylor, 65 yards. And the Colts come right out of the locker room and score here in the opening minute of the third quarter. Well, he's used to running it that distance. Here he had to catch it, too, before making the run. Heck of a play for the score.
There's not many things better for an offense than a back who's a complete guy who can run it and catch it. And we just saw him complete a big-time play for a touchdown.
Extra point by Gay is up and good. And that makes it a 21-10 game. They certainly made quick work of that. Ultra-quick work. One of the fastest drives you'll ever see. Just one play resulting in the touchdown. Following the touchdown, here's Gay to kick it away. And up to about the 26-yard line, just across the 25. So here's the Jets offense now as they get ready for their first possession of the second half. Well, the opposition laid down the challenge, an opening drive touchdown here to start the second half. And, Charles, now you feel like this group needs to get an answer because this all of a sudden is a two-score game.
Yeah, you're right about that. What was a small, manageable spread to overcome? A little bit more daunting now. I think you're exactly right. Pressure is on because you don't want them getting the ball back with a chance to really extend this lead out.
Rodgers going to throw. A short throw to Conklin, the tight end. And he's going to get a good gain of 9 here up to the 34.
And his play caller does a nice job of giving him an easy throw to start this drive, and he takes advantage of it. The completion sets up a manageable second down.
Maybe a good spot to take a shot. Here's second and a yard from the 34. A give running right is Hall. 2 yards on the pickup, and that's all they needed to move the sticks.
2nd and 1, and people want to run the football. This is where every back in the league is supposed to do exactly what we just saw there. Pick up the first down.
So from the 36 now, 1st and 10. Shotgun now for Rodgers. It's caught here by Adams. So the completion good for 6 yards, and it's second down.
One thing you're hoping for when you run drag routes, you're able to hit a receiver in stride, and he can pick up a lot of yardage after the catch. But in this situation, the defense was effective, able to stop him before he could get a good head of steam going.
Rodgers now to throw. He's got the hook up to Lazard. And tackled down after a gain of 3. Leaves him with 1 yard to go on third down.
Oh, it's time to give a little credit there to the defense. They played that very well because it was a drag route, and he ran it a little shallower than normal as he worked straight across the field. He was hoping he'd get lost behind the defensive line, but once he made the catch, nowhere to turn upfield and gain any yardage.
On third down, here's Hall. And he brings this up to the 46. Good enough for the first.
Everyone understood their role on that play. 3rd and 1. You know, the defensive guys, they're trying to get down and get low and get leverage on the offensive lineman, but they didn't allow that to happen. They created a crease and allowed him to get through for a first down.
Couple of first downs to kick off the drive. Here's 1st and 10 up at the 46. This pass out wide to Hall. Call it a gain of a yard, and it'll be second down.
Caught that look from you there, partner. I think we're on the same page on that one. Just his first catch. I think we both thought he'd be a little more active in the passing game. Let's see if that's the start of them trying to get the ball to him a little bit more here in the second half.
Now 2nd and 9. They'll give to Hall. And he's going to be met at the line of scrimmage and taken down. No gain on the play there, so that doesn't help. Now they're looking up at a 3rd and 9 situation. And he got off the end there very quickly to make that play.
Yeah, it was almost like the bullet train, wasn't it? I mean, just zoom. Quick, quick, quick. And what a terrific play, holding them to no gain.
To throw, it's Rodgers. He dumps this one off here to Hall. And this won't be enough. A good secure tackle, and they stop him a few yards shy at the 46. 3 quarters in the books. This is the National Football League on EA Sports. Back now here at MetLife Stadium. It's Jet football, but they trail here as we start the 4th quarter. All right, they're going to try and keep hope alive here on 4th down. They're going for it. They'll go for it. It's Hall. And he's not going to get the first. I don't even think he made it back to the line of scrimmage. The Jets try it, but the 4th down play doesn't work. And the Colts are going to take over with a football. So they really needed points here in a 2-score game. Could not come away with anything there on 4th.
And while we know they're a little bit discouraged here, they can't check out of this game. You and I have called a good number of games over the course of our career where we've seen these types of situations. Teams get the ball back, and that miracle does occur. So they can't let that dream go just yet. They have to get stout on defense here.
Yeah, right now really hoping for a turnover. The Colts come to the line, ready to start their next drive. Now, there are 2 scores on the plus side. Still time here in this 4th quarter, but maybe you start thinking about playing keep away?
Yeah, I think here's the situation. You're not thinking touchdowns anymore. You're just thinking first downs. To keep up with your theme there, playing keep away, first downs, they can't touch the ball. Going for the knockout blow right there. I think if I'm up 2 scores, I'd be worried about an interception, but playing this way is what got them this lead. So you may as well ride it out to the end.
Running straight ahead, Taylor. And a good push there defensively as they stop him at the 48. Gain of just 1.
And this is the worry because sometimes you can get a little too predictable in spots like this. You know you're going to run the ball, but they know you're going to run the ball as well. And now you look up and you're staring at an important 3rd down.
3rd and 9 here. Richardson looking to throw. A short throw. This is caught by Cox. And they're going to mark him down short, maybe by about a yard, if that. So they'll get 8 out of that completion, and that's going to make it 4th down.
I thought maybe when he caught, he'd have a good chance of getting that first down, but that's a nice job of holding him up and preventing him from getting to the sticks.
Now here's Rigoberto Sanchez, as he should be able to pin him back deep here with his first punt. And this one hits at the 3 and then bounds into the end zone for a touchback. Now the Jets offense, they get ready to head back onto the field. Their defense was able to force the punt. That's the good news, but this is still a 2-score game, and they need points on this drive and in a relatively quick manner. Rodgers and the Jets now with a 1st and 10 at their own 20-yard line. They'll come out throwing here to start the drive. He finds his man, complete. It's Adams. And he's going to get this one across the 30-yard line. Solid way to start the drive. 13 yards, picking up the first.
All right, this is the time of the game where they're down a couple of scores, and they've really got to get some yards in chunks, and they know the defense doesn't want to give those up, but they've got to find a way to take them anyway. Now
the question is, can they string a few of those together? To the sideline and incomplete.
When you're leading in the final quarter, your radar has to be up for any potential deep shots. And probably not the last one they're going to see in this game, not as long as they hold this lead.
Now a 2nd and 10. Here's Rodgers. This completes a Corley. 9 yards, not quite enough, and they'll be left now with 3rd and 1.
And I think he just wanted to get the ball to one of his playmakers to see if they can make something happen, but he ends up throwing into a crowded area, and after the catch, he isn't able to do much with it.
The Jets on 3rd down. They've been okay, 2 for 3 thus far. They're up against a 3rd and 1 situation. And he's caught on the sideline, but he's not going to have a first down. They say he was out of bounds. So a big call there that brings up 4th.
And I think we'll probably see him go for it here on 4th down. No reason not to. Down a couple of scores, they have to try and make something good happen.
Who wants it more? This is 4th and a yard. Now Rodgers, gotta have this one. Work in the middle of the field, and he's got a man complete. And he'll be taken down, but he does have first down yardage. The time to pull out the stops is now, and they convert there on 4th down. All 3 timeouts plus the 2-minute warning. Here's 1st and 10. The Colts are going to get him. Down he goes. It'll be a loss of 7 on the sack, and it brings up 2nd. 2 minutes left to play in this football game here on EA Sports. Here comes 2nd down. To throw is Rodgers. A quick throw knocked away and incomplete.
Well, you know they're going to look his way in the 2-minute drill, but that time he was blanketed, and they forced the incompletion. May need some teammates to step up in this spot.
A big play needed, no doubt. 3rd and long. Now Rodgers. And that one too wide and incomplete.
That means it's just one last chance left, and this has to be a first down or a touchdown, or this game's over.
And they're indeed going to go for it here on 4th down. So trailing here in the last quarter, let's see how this plays out. As expected, they're going for it to keep the drive alive. He's got his target. That's complete. And he is going to have a Jets first down, and that was something else. A big pickup on 4th and long to give him a new set of downs. Rodgers again now. Open man here is Conklin. Down he goes at the 10 with a solid pickup of 8.
And there wasn't much room for the big tight end to do much after the catch. But at least he was able to pick up a solid gain to help his offense continue to move in the right direction.
They come up now on 2nd and 2. Throwing is Rodgers. That's pulled in by Wilson. Now the Jets going to use the second of their 3 timeouts, as they'll get a chance to talk it over after picking up the first down. Working from the gun, Rodgers. And he will cover up as he's touched down after a short gain. Not a big window to throw. Coverage wasn't too bad there.
Yeah, they had him under wraps pretty well, but somehow able to muscle his way open and catch the ball.
2nd down, goal to go. And again, it's Rodgers. Eluding the pressure right.
Late in the game, he's certainly doing everything in his power to buy time for his guys to make a play, but in this case, he's surrounded, and all he has room to do is to get back to the line of scrimmage.
But just a gigantic play here, both sides. This is 3rd and inches. Toward the end zone, but that's going to wind up incomplete. So it's been a long drive. They've held the ball for quite a while. Now what do you do here?
Well, to me, at this stage after this drive, this close to the goal line, 3 points would be a letdown. I'm going for it here.
Here it is, 4th and inches. They'll go for it. It's Rodgers. And he's brought down. Can't do anything with a football. It's a sack and a turnover on downs. He couldn't get the ball away on 4th and goal. And instead of having a 1-score game, they'll remain 2 scores down. So with that, we can just about close the book on this one, Charles.
Yeah, what's the old expression about slim and none? Well, Slim just left town on that
They're
one.
down to none?
Yes, exactly right.
The Indy offense at the line and set to go. And this one all over but the shouting, you might say. Now, there's one timeout remaining defensively, but probably no real need to use it here.
Yeah, the only time they would use it, strictly for pride.
And the clock will now stop as a timeout is called with 5 seconds left. Here's 2nd and 7. He's going to get it again. Just looking to get forward and protect the ball. And he'll take this for a short gain on what will prove to be the final play of this ball game. So this one winds up an Indianapolis victory. And it was their defense that really made the statement after the break. They pitched the second half shutout.
Yeah, think about the team that just got vanquished. They did score in the second quarter. Do you think they thought at all that that would be their last points of the game?
No, but what a second half. The adjustment, whatever they did in the locker room, it certainly worked.
It certainly did, and you're exactly right. Whether it was an adjustment, whether it was just more focus on what they planned to do going in, whether they just played better, whatever it was, it all came together in the second half, and no points were allowed. That's a great way to close them out.
I'm Brandon Gaudin. Certainly have to thank Charles Davis, my broadcast partner, and our entire crew. We'll catch you next time right here. It's the NFL